gets to the metaverse first? It's Roblox. They got up ahead of Facebook. They did. My money's on Roblox, the popular online gaming platform that makes it easier for users to create their own digital experiences. But the most important player in the metaverse, again, is indeed Nvidia. Not only do they dominate artificial intelligence, they also make the best graphics chips that can power virtual reality.
Barbados will become the first sovereign nation to establish an embassy in the metaverse. The Caribbean island nation is working with multiple metaverse companies to legally establish embassies, consulates. My question is, why is Barbados doing this? What problem does it solve that can't be done with physical embassies?
We think about global diplomacy, we're speaking about 190 plus potential relationships that need to be maintained. We think about the advent of such technology, we can start looking towards a lower cost, much more efficient infrastructure that really plays to the modern age. If we start looking at the Barbados context and the Barbados citizen, we have a lot of talented individuals. We have a lot of creators of art, music. This is a way for us to capture this creative content, display it in a way, and start offering a new type of cultural diplomacy while merging that with technological diplomacy. And when we think about global travel, this is a way of curbing that climate costs by allowing us to start utilizing technology.
How exactly does this work? What does it mean to have an embassy in the metaverse? What services does it offer? How do people use it? I think that might be useful for people to understand exactly what this initiative is.
So what this really means is the ability for the next generation of digital nomads and users to really enter a different type of environment virtually, walk into a virtual embassy and apply for various digital services. This is just taking what we already have in the digital space and enhancing that. This allows us to create an environment that lets us turn to other nations around the world.
How do I get onto this metaverse?
Most of these metaverses are accessible via your smartphone, your PC, your computer, but more specifically using a 3D headset.
That Roblox had a big outage not too long ago because
that's right. That didn't stop the stock last week from going up 30% after the company reported its quarterly results. But today the stock is up more than 10%. This is on the heels of how Roblox fits into the metaverse. Roblox also saying that it sees TAM, total addressable market, of $200 billion in the categories when it comes to mobile, when it comes to streaming content, and also social media. And yesterday, also, the company announced that it is getting into the educational video game in the classroom arena. This would be worldwide. It's investing some $10 million to develop 3 video games, one for middle school, for high school, and also for colleges in the areas of robotics, space exploration, and also careers in science. The stock, as I mentioned, absolutely on fire, especially over the last week. You can see if you pull up this 1-month chart, it's up 55%. Of revenue doubled for its latest quarter, as they announced last week, even with that outage that you had mentioned.
I think the idea with Roblox is it's unique. So there's 3 real special parts of it. It's a social network, so it has those sort of network effects, right? And it has a sort of a platform and development aspect to it. And, put those 2 together and people, cooperate and have fun building games, sort of amateur game builders. But then it's also got a lot of really compelling games on top of that platform. And, obviously they paid out $130 million in developer fees, and there are a lot of an increasing number of developers, right, making very compelling games. So it's very compelling online gameplay. I don't know of any company that really has those 3 things like that together. That I know recently today they announced that they're going to be hitting the education market with games for education, gamifying education, which I think has been a long time coming, and a lot of people have tried. But I think these guys might have. Roblox might have a real good chance of fulfilling that, which, really a pretty significant upside potential going forward.
But is Facebook's complete focus on the metaverse and rebrand its name to reflect that, including the billions in spending that they're going to do, a threat to a Roblox?
Of course, there could be a threat. But I think Roblox is probably their more direct competitors are the likes of Minecraft, right, from which is owned by Microsoft now, which is probably the most similar comparable experience and platform. I think there are other higher end platforms that the Creation Engine. There's a number of those that are out there. Some are private. So I would look to those. It's going to be a long haul for Facebook to do what Roblox has been doing for almost 20 years. They coined the phrase metaverse about what they were going to do almost 20 years ago now. And you have to be able, a lot of that trial and error and making mistakes and fixing, that's experience that you can't replicate, even if you're Facebook with all the money that you got, right?
What are the key takeaways for investors today about where Roblox is going?
We talked about our amazing community that powers everything on Roblox, everything, the millions of experiences, all built by this amazing community.
Roblox just overtook Activision as the world's most valuable gaming company. Are we seeing a changing of the guard here in terms of the kinds of games people want to play now and into the future?
We shared a vision today of this future category, sometimes called the Metaverse. We think of it as a human co-experience category that supports people coming together to socialize, to learn, to play, someday to work, to experience entertainment and amazing brands. So we don't usually think of ourselves as a video game company. That said, our millions of creators make amazing games and experiences on the platform that sometimes are games and sometimes are music concerts. So I don't know if it's as much changing as the guard as maybe the emergence of a new category. We're actually in the middle of it right now. There's over 200 million roughly monthly people on the Roblox platform every month. They do a lot of things. They have an identity, they have an avatar, they do stuff together.
Facebook just changed its name to Meta and seems to want to own the metaverse. Will any one company own this new world?
Opportunity. I think it's going to change the way people both communicate, the way we share stories. I think ultimately it's going to allow people to learn together in interesting new ways. As more people are working remotely, it's going to power that as well. We're very optimistic about a really big civil society emerging on these types of platforms, but we think we're still actually really early. We're very proud of how much we've worked to make this a place where people can come together to be with their friends, to do things. It's the foundation of our company, and we really have no tolerance for things like bullying, for example.
You see big potential for education in the metaverse, and I know you're trying to get 100 million students engaged there by 2030.
But we're also optimistic even further off in the future for some people that don't have access to education. They may be able to use these 3D type platforms to join a class, dissect a frog, even when they're not near that school.
Now, you've been expanding in China, but you're coming up against the government crackdown there on gaming. How is that impacting you, and are you reconsidering any of your plans?
I think this type of technology is going to really connect people all around the world. We're very conservative financially with our forecast. We don't roll China into that. And of course, as you mentioned, it is a changing political landscape. But we take the long view in everything we do, as well as respect our community.
Ago, I believe, you were down for 3 days. What lessons did you take from that as you scale and grow?
We took this very seriously, and we're going to publish an analysis of what happened and share what we're doing to make sure this never happens again. We were really surprised by the outpouring of our community and support. And when that outage, when we came back up, we didn't lose any of the people on the platform, which was very gratifying.